Good morning. Welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee number 161. Already a nice number of likes there going on. My throat's a bit meh, so I'm going to try and not get too overexcited. I'm sure I will. It's not actually Dave typing there. It's a Karen. I hope you all had a okay Christmas, whether it be an excellent Christmas or a tolerable Christmas. Always good. I had a really good Christmas. It was ace. It was really good. God, I just realised I'm not well. Not well being. Just my throat is diseased. It looks dark on here. Is it my screen or is it dark? It's like a bit dark. I think it's my screen. It is my screen. I know why. It's because I turned my brightness down. Because I was using it. I was actually using it as a computer rather than just using it as a fan. It's Karen now. Karen's gone. I'm going to wait till Annie's doing her thing and then I'm going to type. Yeah, this is actually it's not a tablet, it's a thingamy. a finger-diggity. Those super fancy things that I use as a elaborate TV, but it does a lot more. And I've actually been using it more as a computer. So yes, I've turned my own brightness down. I'm not even going to try and fiddle with it at the moment during the stream. So I'll just take it that you've got a better thing going on. No worries, Daniel. I hope that helped improve your Christmas. We got pigs are saying Happy New Year. I think that's what they're saying. Karen's been quite aggressive lately. If you saw my tweets yesterday, she's been attacking that horrible ice cream juggalo thing, which is fair enough. She was properly attacking it. Morning, Mum. Although I check, because they've got quite a few plushies in there, and I check them pretty much every day to make sure they haven't pulled any of the stuffing out or anything, because that's not good for them. But it's intact, so she hasn't properly. So she's obviously just playing with it. She hasn't been pulling it apart or anything. Very, very odd, peculiar pigs. Woo! Hello, I've got Andrew Frank as well. I'm glad there's a chunk of you turned up, even though I changed the date. I just thought, I know I'm not going to be bothered to do it tomorrow, so I'd rather do a decent show today than either a half-assed me tomorrow. Not that I'm not going to be out partying. I'm going to be waiting till it's 12 and then going to bed, but it means I get to sort of chill out in the morning. So, got a new mug today, although you can only see the pattern on the other side. It's a Bailey's mug. Not that there's any Baileys in this coffee, because that would be an outrage. Unless it's medicinal. What we got? Oh yeah, and also a bunch of you lot might have been out partying tomorrow, so especially with time zone differences and stuff as well. Maybe if you're good, we'll do a fake countdown at the end of the show and pretend that it is New Year at 10:30 or whenever. So got a bunch of stuff. Where shall I start? So when was the last show? Just before Christmas, I think. I'm in a weird old position here. That's a fine cushion. Is that my Danny Doritos? Yes. So I was gonna do a bit of a Annie's Christmas and what's coming up with Bad Squiddo this year. What were some of the best and worsts of last year, and my usual sort of ramblings. What we got there? Oh yeah. Seen on Instagram yesterday. What will you be wearing to New Year's Eve in your own home? Exactly. I will be probably watching. I think the plan is to watch all of the Indiana Joneses, but we shall see. Oh my god! It crept up on me yesterday. Andy, my housemate, has had a dodgy throat, but for weeks, and I haven't caught it. And now I feel like I've got the same thing. So I guess it's the old going round at Christmas. Right, what we got? What we got? Oh no, not Crystal Skull. Not Crystal Skull. So Christmas was excellent. In fact, I have a lovely photo for Christmas that I put up on the old internet. I went to the Brumby household, so Fenris Games, where Joe and Ian still are. for Christmas. Let me just grab this. So Ian is the day-to-day Fenris person, and Joe is the one who does all the sculpts. Joe lives in Kent, so he's been up in this part of the world, which is ace. Hang on, let me get this. It puts your things in too many folders now. So are we on? Is it downloads, messenger? I think it's messenger folder. Oh yeah, and there's a photo of the that's the ice cream juggalo that Karen's been attacking, which I think is perfectly fine. I would attack this too. Where do we go? There we are. Look at this lovely picture. Yeah, I don't think Mum will have seen it yet either. Not that it'll rotate for me. Come on, rotate. So most of Christmas I've been up at Fenris HQ. So that's me, obviously. That's Ian and that's Joe. And I did have some pictures of the hound, but there's been lots of hound pictures on Twitter. So, I'm doing lots of walks, and I've realised how horribly unfit I am, which will link into my New Year's resolution. Yeah, that is Dave now. It's Dave. What we got? Also, before I forget, because it's in the same folder, I was sent this photograph of Mum climbing over a fence. There you go. Look at that grace. Look at the grace there. We got right. So I had a very nice time over at theirs. They will be collecting me after this show. I've got to go back. They're retrieving me. I've been back for a few days by myself because that's always good, although I've mostly just been ill. One of my resolutions was to not be ill, so I've screwed that up before it's even started. But I'm going to go do New Year's Eve with them and watch all the Indiana Joneses. But yeah, I've been back and sorted my pigs out, the monsters. Right, where to start? I got some cool presents, so I won't go for them all, but one of them. So Joe in the photo is Snurg, Snurg from the internet, and he got me the thing every year I say I want for Christmas. Dum dum dum. A sculpt! I got a sculpt! I got a sculpt for Christmas. Whee! You won't see it properly because of the because of the horror of this camera, but she's a female ogre to add to my other ogres. She's actually ogre-sized, whereas my other ogres are kind of giants. We did think up of a name, but I forgot, so I'm going to have to go back to Joe for the name for her. But she'll be in the next Kickstarter. She's really cool, so you can't quite see her. He sculpts in green stuff and this sort of brown stuff, so it's hard to see on the actual sculpt in terms of photos and stuff, because the darker is harder to photograph. But take my word for it, it's awesome. It is awesome. And probably put into resin, I reckon. We'll talk about my new fantasy stuff in a mo. I'm just going to put her away safe. We got office painter in here. That's no good. Boot him. I was looking at how to do moderation on this yesterday, and fails. When we get past a few thousand viewers, I'll get some moderation on. But yeah, I don't actually know what brown stuff is. The only person I know who uses it is Joe. No, definitely not calling her Karen. We had a cool name for her, but I've totally forgot what it was. So we got sculpt out the way. So in the new year, I've been writing my plans for what's going to be happening, and around March I've put Kickstarter. But this is lots of dependence on things because I know how it works. I know that the year goes really, really quickly. But I've got some pictures to show you of some of the things we have in the new Kickstarter. It's a bit of a mishmash at the moment. It's very Shane-led, based on whatever Shane has been sculpting. I have more coffee. The ogre's going in it for sure. No, it's not bees putty. It's just another type of putty, but I think it's got a harder property. Someone else uses it. I can't think. I don't know if Bristol's used it before. Definitely not bees putty. It's got the same strength as green stuff. So like, I don't know the sciences, but it's one of those super strongies, whereas bees putty is more of a crumblier sort of thing. Crumblier. So I saved some pictures before this. Hello, Jill! Yay! What we got? Pictures from there we are. So it's we've got a mixture of new fantasy bits and bobs, but it's also kind of merged into some horror bits and bobs. So I'm not quite sure how to market it yet. So it's going to be based on whatever the majority of the things are. So it's just so good. You probably won't be able to see. I know what it's like. Let me just check all my. There we go. But you get a gist. We've got guns, fantasy guns. Da, da, da. I know Pete says Kickstarter in March, pick up at Salute. That's what I do every time, isn't it? I think, yeah, you'll be able to pick it up at Salute. And then tell the casters, and I'm like, that's fine, isn't it? To pick up at Salute. Nope. No, probably not. But yeah, we've got guns, we've got more vampire ladies, there's some zoom-ins of the faces. Again, the picture's never great on here, but you get a little gist. I don't know why it used to be good, didn't it? I used to use the showing pretty well. Yeah, that's Dave typing again. They've been extra loud since I got back because they're claiming that I've abandoned them. We've got a lot of these guard types, which once I've got them all together, I'm really looking forward to seeing them all in a. There you go. So I'm going to take a bit of stock of them in the new year tomorrow and see what we've actually got, because we've kind of been adding bit by bit. I like this. She's got the old devil horns on the go. But again, you can't see. Woo. Yeah, because we've been sort of getting them in dribs and drabs the last few months. They're supposed to go to the casters over Christmas, but because of all the strikes, we've kind of held them off. So it'll be next week. Oh my lord, Dave! It is going to be painful for your wallet, I'm afraid. Yes, so you'll have to save up. You got a couple months to get on the go, and then maybe a bit more because of the pledge manager. So yeah, it's going to be more fantasy and more horror. And I'm now we've got sort of these. We've got the guards. We've got some more. We've got another Dracula as well, which is very good. Although I very much like, is there two very good Draculas we could end up having? And obviously that means I can give them My Last Sunrise a bit more of a boom. Remind people that we've got all that and that we do have the occasional man miniature. So there are going to be a few man miniatures in this. I know it's madness. More horror. Yeah, the horror stuff is my favourite, and it is kind of how I got into the hobby was through horror. So that's very much my sort of personal enjoyment-y bit. So yeah, we're kind of expanding that MLS, the Rangers MLS. That's My Last Sunrise. So getting a bit more in there, some more monsters. But yeah, it's not anything. It's kind of it's a bit easterny, but not specifically. So kind of bits and bobs. So I'm up for some sort of suggestions, and I don't know why I'm doing this. Some steerings into different angles, and because I will be seeing Joe today, tomorrow, and Monday, and taking him back to Kent on Tuesday. That's 4 days to try and brainstorm with Joe what sort of stuff he's going to add to this Kickstarter, whether it be more monster type things like the ogre, more critters. I'm still quite thinking about doing a familiar pack with just different weird little creatures, because you do like dogs with clothes on and that sort of thing. So I might add some of those and maybe give them a bit more of an Eastern twist. The other bit, let me just have more of the non-Bailey's coffee. Man miniatures, what is the world coming to? Exactly. It's political correctness gone mad. So let me stop there, totally lost where I was. Kickstarters, woo! I didn't really, other than the tree pen, didn't really do a Kickstarter last year, and I've realised that they are quite important for those cash injections, so I need to be more sensible and do more of them. So that's why that's aiming for about March. But it's kind of, it's one of those where it's not out of my hands, but I have to do, I'm less involved than when I do here's warm than when I do there's no heating on at all, so it obviously has turned to warm. Yeah, brain's gone again. Brain's gone. I thought Jez said he'd be in skimpy armour and in practical shoes then. I got confused. I was like, good for you, Jez. Happy New Year. So yeah, what we got? Man miniatures. The reason it is, yes, so it's more of a step back, a bit like the Damsels was in the creation. Obviously, once I get to the production, it's all steam ahead. But this, again, as I said, it's very Shane-led, the sculptor. And then as soon as I get master casts of a lot of it's going to be in the next couple of weeks, straight to the painter who's already booked in. Boom. And God, I'm so ill. I'm really struggling to breathe with all my excited chat. So, but yeah, that'll be off to the sculptor, and that'll be happening to the painter rather. That'll be happening largely without me. So in that time, I know I feel awful because I said this last January. Community miniatures. It will be, and I promised no Kickstarter, no minis Kickstarters till community miniatures are done. So that's my kick up the arse to get that done. I fell asleep listening to a documentary about Qing Shi last night, and that was part of my getting started on this. I'm going to set aside just a day because I really struggle with doing bits and bobs. I've got to really get into stuff, that sort of all or nothing. So I'm going to set aside a day and just get all of the briefs written, all of the sketches done for all of them, and then it's done. I'm going to throw in some bonus ones as well to make up for everyone waiting for so long. And also, although I've kind of been talking about it like it's a bit of a burden, it's not. It's actually one of the most exciting projects that we've done, and I love it. It's purely the burdenous element is because I've been so behind in it. But once it's caught up in a sort of a monthly running thing, it's going to be such a good excuse to get lots of different miniatures made and things that might sort of test the water. For, say, if one's really popular, that might give me then a bit of a, maybe we'll do a couple more of that sort of style or that era. And so that could be a start off to a whole new range, and that's a whole new range. So that's going to be wicked. So that's going to be really cool because I want to do more historical characters, and that was the whole point of the community miniatures, that I don't have to do a range every single time. Hiccups now. So about so that will all be happening when I don't get ill. No illness allowed. I've shown you the sculpt. I've got notes this morning as well. This is a Christmas miracle. What is happening this year? Bad Squiddo. I'll be drinking more coffee. That's what. So yeah, Alan will be sculpting the community miniatures. So that means that Alan will be doing that. Shane will be doing the Kickstarter. Not one is crossing over. I'll probably end up with some Alan sculpts the Kickstarter as well, as we usually do. We haven't had a Gave in yet for a while, so probably need one of them. Did we have? We didn't have one in Damsels, did we? So yeah, I'll definitely do this. So yeah, we'll figure out, kids. Thanks, Lil. Lil says gargle with Corsadil for your throat. Oh, not Bailey's then. Not Bailey's. Right. Shows. What shows will I be at this year? I personally, as Bad Squiddo Games, will be at Vatlatak in February. Although I haven't heard back from them, so if anyone watching this is part of Vatlatak or knows them, please do just give them a prod. I think it's fine. I think it's just because obviously it's not a job for them. It's just now and again they get the email. I haven't had confirmation, but I assume it's fine. I assume it's all good. I'm all paid and everything. So that will tax something like the 6th of February. So that'll just be me up there. In my little corner next to Dave Lanchester and Early War. Yes, there's information on the blog that I keep meaning to update the blog, but it was mostly just me going, not ready yet. We've got Qingxi, the pirate queen, who had the biggest pirate fleet, I think, of history, and had some really cool rules as well. I liked her rules. She's still, a criminal and everything, but like a slightly ethical criminal. So there were lots of rules on what you could, what you couldn't do to women, basically, and things like that. So it was a bit revolutionary. So we've got Qingxi, that's it. We've got Harriet Tubman, whose design is pretty much done. So she's on my ticked off bit. My brain has not been working with names, so I'll probably forget the rest of them now. We've got the Scottish lady. The Scottish lady's coming. That one. Scottish siege lady. Black Agnes is coming. We've got French lady. Yeah, I'm not gonna get these names out of my ill-tired brain. We've got French lady. We've got bisexual nun lady. Yep, Julie d'Aubijon, isn't it pronounced? And then I'm going to add a few more extras on there as well. Bonus sculpts as well. And I'll get that all sort of sorted out. So that'll be grand. So that's quite adventurous that I'll be sorting that in the next 2 months, basically. Not necessarily they'll all be out and done before the Kickstarter, but everything I need to do will have been in the works, if that makes sense. So they'll have been sculpted or they'll be cast by the time that I start the Kickstarter. Because that's as much for me as you lot to get it all caught up. I'm trying to get rid of the last couple of months or even month. I've been just on this absolute beast mode to get rid of so many things that are just kind of constantly floating over my brain, being, going, you need to do this and this and this, and I'm in this constant overwhelm. So the more things I'm sort of ticking off, and the more I'm like, oh, a bit of space to breathe and do what I really want to do, which has always been that teaching people about women from history in a fun wargamey sort of manner, rather than just grabbling along panicking about various stuff. Andrea says, should this be perhaps how we get a bad Squiddo Jeanne d'Arc? Yes, exactly. So I want to bring, once we get all caught up, I liked when we were doing that sort of campaign for who Squiddo should do next, because then we can all it's partly that stealth teaching, because you get to sort of teach each other about who these people are, and yeah, that's kind of it. See you later, Berlin Tuesday. Happy New Year. Carry on painting excellently. I'm sure you'll love the new horror thingams. I was going to get Kev to do a Jeanne d'Arc, and the more I looked into it, I thought, she's not going to be that exciting a model, actually. As if you go, because obviously we go for that realistic, and it's like, oh, realistic Joan of Arc isn't going to be as cool. Basically, the Jean de Clisson was the sort of like dynamic-y thing I was looking for, which is why I ended up. It's originally he was going to do Joan of Arc, and then I ended up going, nah, she's going to be, like 16 and all this, and like, but actually you want a proper fantasy style badass. I'm so tired. That's not me calling Joan of Arc not a badass. Obviously Kev's out the question now because he's at Forge World, and when you're at Forge World or Warhammer Citadel, you cannot sculpt for anybody else, which makes entire sense. If I was that big, I would forbid my sculptors. I'd keep them all to myself, but I can't. So, but yeah, it's always bittersweet when people join Games Workshop. It's like, yay, it's good for them. They've got actual proper employment with holidays and all that. But boo, we can't hire them anymore. And so sometimes it's what's the word? It's that mix of what's who's an interesting person and how you can make a miniature look a bit more exciting. Some of them where it's kind of researchers. You know, like if it's someone that researches, you know, it's like what they've got to have some sort of way you could put them into a game and all that. A standard made of swords covered in spikes and skulls. Yes. But part of the joy of community miniatures is almost that I don't need to worry about that, because if you pay for them beforehand, then I know. So if you're late to this, actually, so community miniatures, they're like mini Kickstarters. So if enough people want the thing, pay for it up front, it gets made. So that's, again, an excuse to do things that I might not have chose to do because of things like perceived sellability. So we can get a few more sort of more off the wall or lesser known characters and things like that. And I want it to be a really big part of Bad Squiddo. So that's why I'm going to kick myself up the arse and get that done. I haven't spoke much the last few days. And now that I have realised just how bad my throat is. So yeah, the shows. Oh yeah, this is from Oz the dog. I thought it was quite cool that he went in a shop to get that. That was cool. I like that. A little paw. If you can't see it, it's a little paw print. What have we got? So VAT Attack will be, oh Lord, nearly next month. Got to remember how to do shows again. That's quite an easy one for me because it's just up the road, and I've got another trader is carrying all the stuff up for me, so I've just got to whack the racks in the back of their van. Although I say that, I've got to actually get the racks out. So we've got that to go. Got Salute and UK Games Expo, and no more. I'm cutting it down. It's been, I think this is year 2 or 3 of me only doing those 3 shows, because I'm just not I'm either not well enough in some sort of capacity or just don't have the resources to do tons of shows. So VAT Attack, because it's one of my favourites and easy to do, and Salute and Expo because they're big beasts where I make loads of money and meet loads of people and get loads of new customers. So they're almost advertising as well as sales, but they cost so much. I've been paying for my expo in installments. It's that high. It's in the thousands. It's absolutely mad, but it is worth it. That's all those things where you have to put that money quite far ahead of the actual thing. So it's balancing all that cash is fun. So let me just cross my things out to try and get through them. My January plans, as always, is to catch up on Paperwork Madness, but I have been catching up on Paperwork Madness the last couple of months, and I'm nearly at the end of that, so that's ace. And I have a new accountant because my last accountant absolutely left me in it, which was rubbish. Still pondering whether to name and shame them, because they really screwed me over last year. I was reading the comments there, like a TikTok live person who just sits there reading comments. So we've got all those shows coming, and they take up a lot of energy. And I'm already panicking about Salute. So, oh, it's basically tomorrow. 4 months of show prep is not much. What have I got here? Shipping delays, Christmas. Yes, so loads of stuff pre-Christmas ended up being put sort of on the shelf till the new year because of all the strikes, and people not being in at various places. I thought, let's just leave it till the new year. So I've got some sculpts being shipped, some more painted miniatures, which is then Daniel in the bin inside chat. What was a little sneeze from a pig there? I forgot what I was saying now. Painted things from painting nights will be arriving, which means I can then do more packaging because I've been on this endless packaging catch up. But without jinxing it, I do feel like I'm getting pretty far now in this mega catch up land to again be absolutely smashing, because when it gets going, I am an absolute beast and business machine. I'm just cursed by being ill all the time. Look at this hair. Look at that. How's it get that long? Another thing, which was on my sort of resolutions last year, was to get an ADHD diagnosis. It's been an entire year and I've proceeded by absolutely nothing, which is apparently quite typical. So maybe this year. And a few people I spoke to have kind of said, you know, what if you don't have ADHD? What if you've convinced yourself? I'm like, that's fine. Getting a non-diagnosed, just getting something, some sort of, even just doing the process, and them saying nope or no, it's not that, but it might be this, is some sort of progress. Because I've pinned down a lot of my issues, mental health issues or general life issues, to going, oh, I go, put me on my pen, going, it's this, and that is me doing this, and so much stuff has started to make sense that if I can get some help in that sort of sense, it will also help Bad Squiddo. So that's all good. I know you like following my, talking of the ADHD, I know you like following my various strategies for planning and stuff. So I've got a new one I'm going to try. And again, I've decided it doesn't matter. If it doesn't work, it's fine. Rather than this almost like an internal mocker going, this doesn't, was it, oh, you tried that and it doesn't work. I'm like, yeah, it's fine, because not everything works. You got to try different stuff till something does work. So I did make those really cool rainbowy Ratty's deciphering Dave's type Morse code. Are you sending Morse code out, Dave? I see you. I saw on an inspirational thing yesterday, what was it? The squeaky wheel is the one that gets oiled. And then I thought immediately of Nini, the guinea pig. She's always a squeaky wheel and she does get oiled. So there's definitely some truth in that. So yes, you followed my cool rainbow planner thing. That worked to a point, but I'm still figuring out the best. So I ended up back on an app this year. So most of this year I've been using Todoist app, which is free. Not sponsored. You can get it with 10% off on my link. Todoist is a very big app, so it's got lots of support and all that. I do get the paid version so that I can do more fancy stuff in it, but you can do the free one. And that's because I've always got my phone on me. That's the guaranteed brain emptier, and it's easy to move things about. But I've been using a combo, so I've been using that as the general organisation, and then in the day doing lots of note scribbling and all this. And I found this, and it was under an ADHD hack, so I thought, this might work. So it's index cards and a clip. I did get a nice clip. So the idea, I don't think I have any super secret things on here. Each task, so I need to do my mega stock count. I was supposed to do that this week. So each task gets its own card. Oh, house inspection. That's not a work one. But I'm in house inspection. How dare they? That's what I got. Actually realised. So things like that. So each card is its own task. I'm only making cards for the upcoming day, so there's not just a million cards everywhere. The rest's on the app. And the cards, so yeah, it's example stock count. They can then be shuffled, put in different orders, and then once the task is done, goes in the recycling. Gone. It's physically gone. And then when I get to the end of it, hey, there's a little yellow card. And I've also got the some green cards that stay there just with the ongoing sort of tasks. Hey, medication. And it's the physical thing of being able to just literally go, yep, that is a task that is completed. It's a bit similar to that sort of crossing it off, but a bit more of an action. and doesn't mean having to carry a big book around or anything like that. You got this, and then that's the motivation that once the things have been done, this is thinner as well. It might not work. It's quite similar to what I've been doing, but less organized, more organized. So I've got good hopes for it, and it's not fancy. There's no fancy things to do, because I also because I like these. I'll get past my notes. These disc bound things. So this is a disc bound journal. One I got for Christmas from Ian. Look at that. Ooh. Nice there. With all the dots on it. I also got a bullets journaling guy template thing. And I've looked at bullet journaling before and been put off. And I still don't know if I'm going to do it as is, but I'm going to have a look whilst we're doing all the Indiana Joneses. Because I looked at that, I had a look on TikTok at bullet journals, and it immediately put me off because it was just full of these really elaborate, and they look beautiful, but they're all got like the different tapes on them, paintings and all this, and little pockets, and I'm like, I just need something to be organized. If it looks nice, it's a bonus, and if I can make it look nice, but if it looking nice is part of it, like it has to be, it's not going to happen because they're not going to do it. But then I discovered the actual bullet journaling as it was originally designed, which was to be really quick and easy, and you just scribble some bits down. So I'm going to have a little look at that. That is just almost like a tracker, things to keep track of, rather than using it as yeah, exactly. Jill says it's a full-on hobby. Yeah, but the basics of it isn't. So I'm kind of intrigued to do that as just an ongoing planner thing, rather than, and then have this as the stuff that's like, that's then the extracted information of what actually needs to be done. I got really into writing in Sharpie as well because it's nice and just bold, like, right, here we go. So having that just being the carrying round is awesome. Hello, Stefan. I've got some good different people in today. So hello if you're new, if you are a regular. This is good. Let me just have more coffee. If you have joined recently, yeah, I'm a bit ill in the throat and tired, so I keep getting out of breath from being excited, like Tiny Tim. So that's an interesting. Rather getting into my brain and kind of going, okay, it's not going to solve everything, but if I just keep trying different things, something will stick, rather than you tried a thing and it didn't work, you loser. Like, no, people work differently with different things, don't they? So hopefully that will have some use for you. What have we got? A few more notes. Other Annie's resolutions, I generally don't, though I'm also not against New Year's resolutions, because I know people get a lot of crap for doing New Year's resolutions, especially if it's things like working out, because people go, oh, look at them all in the gym in January. Like, if it works for your brain to do a new thing in January because of the whole dated thing, then do it. Don't let people put you off. I've got my usuals. The main one to save money and be healthier is to try and walk more and get less takeaways, because that's where any of my personal money basically goes on. And it was partly because of being ill so much last year, and I'm bored of talking about it. It was all sorts of different things, but I kind of got into survival mode of, if I can get there via the Uber or taxi, then it still gets me there. But then I've become quite reliant on it, and so the last week where I've been at the Brumbies, I've walked a lot and realised just how out of shape I am. So that will help, and get actually cooking some more, because I really like cooking and I've barely cooked. It's been quite terrible in that sort of sense. Try and get some health, because my health is awful. And it's the cliche of everything gets a bit better if you're in a bit of a better state. Lil wants control of the music. It just means it just means that she just puts endless ABBA on or status quo. They're both banned in the Bad Squiddo office. Hey, right, it says it's a good morning coffee. And it's a Saturday, so I'm glad people got the memos to come along. What have we got? Nearly out of the way. Nearly done. So it's the end of 2022. Again, whether that means anything to you or if it's just an arbitrary date. Status quo. No more status quo. I might let her in the new year. The other half of my blister pack delivery hasn't arrived, so I don't know if that's out in the ether or hasn't been made yet or not. But I asked the people to send it in 2 shipments. I got one just before Christmas and the others just who knows now. On an absolutely random note, my fridge freezer broke, as you can remember, near mid-December. But I was kindly lent one from Fenris Ian, and that is now broke as well. So I've just given up with eating anything cool ever again. I think fridges come here to die. We got here. Just read the news. Andrea, you painted more than I did. I don't know what I painted. What did I even paint? I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I must have painted something, but maybe I will get some hobby done. As usual, it's nearing the end of my time off at Christmas, and all the things that I was going to do are not happening. So I go, oops, yeah, I was going to do this and this and this and chill out. But to be fair, I have been absolutely blasting through Diablo. It's the best. All those are the worst. Maybe I'll just quit and just play Diablo all the time because it's so addictive. Anyway, I believe that is all I have for now. And I'm very grateful for you all for sticking around and to be around to see what happens in 2023, which will be the 8th year. Gosh, so yeah, in February, Bad Squiddo will have been going 8 years. Oh Lord. Stefan, are you planning on to Salute? Yep, I will be at Salute. I'm back in my old space. Yay, which I like. It's sort of in the middle-ish. And I've got the big colouring in table as well. I totally get the last Salute being disappointing because there was a pandemic, still is a pandemic, but it was a lot more hit. So yeah, thanks everyone for being around and for watching my rambles as well. I'm gonna stop to breathe after this, I think. So I'm gonna go after this. They might even be en route actually now. I'm going back to the Brumby land for some cool company for the new year, which will be nice, and having some sculpt plotting. And I hope you're all having a decent new year and all those shenanigans. We'll do a countdown before I go and pretend that it's New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve countdown now. We've got Jules Holland's Hootenanny. That's Dave there typing away. That's Dave on his keyboard doing the Hootenanny. I meant to get one of the hats and the little like so you can pretend if you want. And then you don't have to stay up either. So I haven't got anything cool to sort of wave around to be a thing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Way! Happy New Year! Woo! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Da, 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 da. Oh yeah, I need to say up now. It's the new year. Old Lang Syne. Do. There we go. See you all. Happy New Year. Woo! Happy New Year. Oh no, the phone network's jammed. No, I can't get through. Time to go to bed. See you all. Bye.